Braylon Edwards heading to the Jets, Michael Crabtree agreeing to a deal with the Niners, and the league withholding a fine. What's going on in the NFL? For some of the news and notes, we bring in Jeff Darlington of the Miami Herald, part of our Cover 2 team. Jeff, let's start with the health of Troy Polamalu and Willie Parker as the Steelers head into the Lions game. How are they looking?
Yeah, Polamalu, the only guy still on the Steelers with an interception. Also, a guy with 5 Pro Bowls on his resume, could be back this week against the Lions. He is going to likely practice today. He will probably also be wearing a brace, though. The team wants to find out if he'll be able to change directions, make abrupt starts and stops. Last week, he was able to run in some straight lines, but Mike Tomlin isn't going to suggest this. But given that Pittsburgh has Detroit and Cleveland up next, the team in Polamalu might be in a position to be a little extra cautious getting him back. As for Willie Parker, he's still dealing with the turf toe injury, but he also is going to be limited during practice this week. They're going to see if they can as well back into the lineup. And then he might even be sharing some carries, though, when he does get back with Rashard Mendenhall, who's been doing a really solid job in Parker's absence.
We saw that Ray Lewis was very unhappy with the officiating after the Patriots game. He and a few of his teammates criticized the officiating, but they didn't get fined for it. Any idea why not?
Yeah, well, you know, if you remember back in 2007, a couple years ago, matchup between these same two teams, the Ravens had 4 players fined $15,000 or more. This time around, not the case. Ray Anderson, the VP of Football Operations for the NFL, saying that no guys will be fined even after Ray Lewis called 2 penalties embarrassing. Those 2 penalties were roughing the Tom Brady penalties that were pretty significant. Both resulted in touchdowns. And, you know, Lewis did not say that those impacted the result of the game, but clearly guys upset by them. Now, I don't know if this was just the NFL's way of agreeing with the Ravens in the sense that those calls probably shouldn't, or maybe just the fact that at least Ray Lewis did not throw the penalty flag into the crowd the way that Bart Scott did a couple years ago, which merited a $25,000 fine in 2007.
We'll finish things off with the Dolphins. Joey Porter's out in Miami. Cameron Wake was in his place, a name that people may not know, but they should. Why?
Yeah, Cameron Wake was actually a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year the past 2 seasons in the Canadian Football League. And now, you know, he was inactive for the first 2 games, got minimal playing time in the 3rd game, but the 4th game with Joey Porter suffering from a hamstring injury, Cameron Wake comes in, gets 3 sacks, a couple of quarterback hurries, a forced fumble, and looks like an absolute force, not only in the CFL, but it looks like he could have a huge impact in the NFL as well. The good news also there is that when Joey Porter does come back from the hamstring, Coach Tony Sperano says that Cameron Wake was actually being used in situational type plays that would not limit his playing ability or Porter when he gets back. So expect both these guys. Huge pass rushing presence is for the Dolphins this coming week.
Former Nittany Lion had a long road to the NFL, but did get there now finally.
Yeah.
Jeff Darlington, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you, Dana.
Still to come here on ESPN First Take.